The Transatlantic Slave Trade, a dark chapter in human history. For over 400 years, it ravaged Africa, tore families apart, and fueled the economies of empires. Millions of Africans were forcibly taken from their homes. They were shipped across the Atlantic in horrific conditions. We will uncover the resilience and resistance of those who were enslaved. The slave trade was a system of immense cruelty. It treated human beings as commodities. European powers, with the help of local African rulers, captured and transported men, women, and children. They were crammed onto ships, shackled together in the darkness. Many died during the perilous Middle Passage. Those who survived faced a life of forced labor and oppression in the Americas. The impact of the slave trade was devastating. It decimated African societies, creating a legacy of trauma that continues to this day. But even in the face of unimaginable suffering, the human spirit endured. The voices of the enslaved often come to us in fragments. Whispers from the past, carried across the ocean by time. One such whisper belongs to Olaudah Equiano. Born in what is now Nigeria, Equiano was kidnapped as a child and sold into slavery. His autobiography, published in 1789, provides a harrowing account of the Middle Passage and the brutality of plantation life. Equiano's story is not unique. Countless others endured similar horrors. Women like Elizabeth Freeman, who sued for her freedom in a Massachusetts court, and won. Men like Frederick Douglass, who escaped slavery and became a leading abolitionist. These personal narratives give a human face to the statistics, reminding us that behind the numbers were real people with dreams, families, and an unyielding desire for freedom. Despite being stripped of their identities, enslaved Africans held on to their traditions. They passed down their languages, music, and stories to their children, ensuring the survival of their heritage in a foreign land. Resistance took many forms during the transatlantic slave trade. It was sometimes a quiet act, a whispered song of freedom, or a stolen moment of joy. Other times it was loud and defiant, a refusal to be broken. From the moment Africans were captured, they resisted their fate. Many fought back against their captors, risking their lives for a chance at freedom. On the slave ships, resistance simmered. Some refused to eat, choosing death over a life in chains. Others staged mutinies, seizing control of ships and turning towards home. Once in the Americas, resistance continued. Enslaved Africans ran away, seeking refuge in maroon communities which were settlements of escaped slaves. These communities, scattered throughout the Americas, became symbols of hope and resistance. They created music, dance, and art that reflected their experiences and kept their spirits alive. Section 4. Echoes in the Present. The transatlantic slave trade may be over, but its legacy continues to cast a long shadow on the world today. The systemic racism and inequality that plague our societies are rooted in the centuries of exploitation and oppression that define this dark period. The economic disparities, the social injustices, and the ongoing fight for equality are all echoes of the past. The transatlantic slave trade stripped entire nations of their human capital, leaving a void that has had a lasting impact on the economic development of many African countries. It fueled the Industrial Revolution in Europe and the Americas, while simultaneously hindering the economic growth of the African continent. The effects of this uneven playing field are still felt today. Furthermore, the psychological scars of slavery continue to affect generations of black people across the diaspora. However, it is also important to recognize the resilience and contributions of the African diaspora. Their stories are stories of triumph over adversity, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Section 5. Unmasking the Past. Uncovering the untold stories of the transatlantic slave trade is not just about understanding the past, it is about confronting the present. By acknowledging the horrors of slavery and its lasting impact, we can begin to dismantle the systems of oppression that continue to marginalize and disadvantage people of African descent. Education is key to unmasking the past. By learning about the transatlantic slave trade in its entirety, including the stories of resistance and resilience, we can challenge the often sanitized narratives that are sometimes presented. We must move beyond simply acknowledging the existence of slavery and delve deeper into its complexities, its long-term consequences, and its relevance to contemporary society. Furthermore, we must engage in open and honest conversations about race and racism. By having these difficult conversations, we can begin to dismantle the systems of oppression that perpetuate inequality. This act of remembrance is crucial for healing and for ensuring that such atrocities are never repeated. Section 6. A shared journey. The transatlantic slave trade is a stark reminder of the capacity for cruelty that exists within humanity. However, it also highlights the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit, the power of hope, and the unwavering pursuit of freedom. By learning from the past, acknowledging the present, and working towards a more just and equitable future, we embark on a shared journey of healing and reconciliation. This journey requires empathy, understanding, and a commitment to dismantling the systems of oppression that continue to divide us. It is a journey that demands we confront uncomfortable truths about our history and ourselves. But it is a journey that we must take together for the sake of our shared humanity and the hope of a brighter future. By remembering the past, honoring the victims, and fighting for a more just future, we ensure that the sacrifices of those who were enslaved were not in vain.